Boom. We're live. What's up, man?
Dude, what's up, man? Thank you for having me on, man.
For sure, dude. I actually wanted to introduce you to the people that follow me, man, because like we've known each other for like a long time, man.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's at least a couple of years now, and
Yep.
I guess we were first introduced to each other like through Decentraland, I believe, right?
Yeah, it was like I think it was a little before Decentraland launched officially.
Yeah.
So it was probably maybe like December of like 2019, I think, because I think Decentraland launched what 2020.
2020,
Yeah.
yep. That's right.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm buying up all those pre-launch, all those Halloween NFTs and stuff, and finding out the secret store in
That's
the
right.
in the OpenSea store. That was pretty sick.
Yeah.
Dude, they hit those. That was like a secret little treasure.
Oh
Actually,
yeah, it was. It was. Yeah, when it launched, there was a bunch of chests scattered throughout Decentraland, and everybody had to run around and kind of find it and do these little challenges. And then before that, like what we were talking about is the Halloween event. Some people found like one of 10's NFTs, and I mean those are worth a lot right now.
Yeah, a lot of those are worth quite. I mean, dude, I kind of stopped looking at my NFTs, man, because it's like the gas got so ridiculous. Because
Yeah.
like me, Wasabi, I think you guys, Will, Iman, and everything were. I think Maddie too. Actually, Maddie and Anorak, we were all kind of not day trading, but basically, but we were kind of like selling NFTs back and forth, basically. For like, I remember selling like launch shirts, then selling them back, and then rebuying them back for like a couple, like 5-10 mana each, more in profit. And that stuff's sort of possible when the gas fees were like, I think even at the time were a penny on for Decentraland contracts on OpenSea. So you could sell an NFT for a penny, basically.
That's right.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Hey, by the way, that intro was badass.
Oh, dude, thanks, man.
Dude, that was sick. Sick everything.
No, thanks, man. We worked hard on it, man. It was a real bitch to get it on to work on this platform right here, because it's like it has to be under a certain amount of like megabytes or whatever.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, to get it to work and stuff. But we have some other intros and stuff, but like we have to take the music off of it because it's copywritten or something.
Right.
Yeah. But dude, that's freaking sick, man. If you guys don't know, man, this guy probably was the pioneer of like gaming in Decentraland.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Straight up. You guys were like literally the first user created like NFT game and stuff. Do you want to go over that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. So I guess let's start at the beginning. So we started a podcast, Iman and I, in 2019, and it was the peak of the bear. It was like probably the worst time to start anything in crypto at the time. And but it was the best time to invest, obviously. So we started the podcast, and then not too long after, we interviewed Maddie, DCL blogger, and he explained to us Decentraland, and at the time it was just a black grid of 300 by 300 squares. And he was telling us his story. I was like, man, you can, own stuff, you can deploy stuff. And you could basically create anything that you want. And so we had that 1 hour call, and since we recorded it, my brother listened to the conversation.
Right.
He happened to be a full stack developer, right? Front end, back end, and a game designer as well. He grew up making games as a kid, and so he's like one of those developers who kind of taught himself.
Right.
So he was like, okay, let's, I'm interested. Let's get into Decentraland. Let's make stuff, right? And so the beta launched, and my brother made the first game for our platform. It was called The Block Runner,
Yeah.
and it just happened to match our podcast just because it sort of made sense. And it was just a simple game where you just kind of jump blocks. And what was cool about it is that you'd pay mana, right? You'd pay mana to play this game, and if you jumped the most blocks compared to everybody throughout that day, you would win mana. And so it was a system where when players play that game, that mana gets split between the landowner and the owner of that game. And so
Right.
it was one of the first sort of revenue generating, NFTs out there. And but one of the biggest realizations that my brother made was like, man, it's extremely complicated to deploy anything in Decentraland. So he was like, okay, let's figure out a way to solve this so that anybody can just buy content and deploy it to their land.
Right.
And so that spawned the application that we're running now called MetaZone. It's metazone.io.
Yep.
And it's a marketplace of user generated content, and we focus on content that generates revenue for the landowner. So I guess you could say this is like one of the early-ish versions of play to earn.
Yeah.
But it was more of like it represents kind of like how the real world works. Like, say for example, you own real land. In this real world example, you have to contract a construction company to build out this building, and then you would have to lease that building to a business owner, and then that business owner would take that building, fill it with merchandise, whatever it is that they're selling, and then they would have to institute some marketing campaign in order to bring customers in. And so the exact same thing is how the digital world is going to work, because without a platform like MetaZone, you would have to own the land, be a developer, be a marketer, and a game designer, and then you can generate revenue on your land. So to us, that was not really sustainable. So now that we created MetaZone, it was just a way for anybody to make content. If you're a 3D modeler, 3D creator, a developer, you go in, make content, and submit that content. Somebody who owns land would buy it and deploy it, and hopefully they generate revenue by bringing in people. So at the time, there wasn't a lot of people in Decentraland, and
oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, it was just it was all about like anything that the original Decentraland founders would do, and like set up events. Like that was the main reason to be in Decentraland, for these big events. And so we were very forward thinking, and but the model still worked, right? There was a ton of landowners who were like, I don't know if it makes sense to keep flipping land, and because at some point, I guess the music's going to stop, and people are going to own land, and they want to generate some sort of revenue, and that was sort of kind of how we were thinking. It's like you can't really just flip land forever. There's got to be some application, some sort of use case,
some utility. Yeah,
utility. Exactly. So then there was we had a contact, and Ethermon came in, and they were like, okay, this is cool. So now I can make content, and think about this. You can wrap functions as NFT. So what does that mean? It's like, take like any game that has fishing or battling or mining or crafting, whatever, anything that ends with an ing, you can wrap that as an NFT and deploy that to your land. And so what we ended up doing is we're taking functions of a game and we're distributing those functions to the community, so that when you play a game in Decentraland, you're not interacting with the quote unquote game creator. You're actually interacting with the community that owns the game, the community that's hosting the game. So now you have games that are hosted by a community, and when you play that game, you're interacting with other people in that same community. So I think ultimately that was the model that we feel is going to generate content in the metaverse, because because without this, it's going to be completely centralized. There's going to be
Right.
to build content on a piece of land is gonna have huge overhead, a huge cost, and it's not going to be profitable. And then it's going to be, metaverse is relatively empty, and so that's sort of
Right.
what we were thinking about, and then yeah, it ended up working. So
Yeah. So it's just to kind of like not just clarify, but just kind of just so my, my viewers don't like lose their head on this. Like basically, like what's going on is it takes a lot. So if you don't know really, so if I guess the best way to describe it is sort of like a lot of you guys probably have played like Minecraft before.
yeah, Minecraft, yeah,
And if you ever try to build something, I mean, we all can build a little like dorky little house out of wood, right? But if you want to build something elaborate and really cool looking, right, you're kind of limited by the artistic level you're at, basically.
mhm,
So you can go to places like you can go to a place like Metaverse and stuff like that and buy either pre-made stuff or even get in contact with people,
yeah,
artists and stuff in that place to then make stuff for you, which is just a huge time saver. One cool thing is like, so almost think about it. So some of the stuff like the Block Runner game, right, which you were talking about earlier, which was like Decentraland's first ever like play to earn game,
yep,
was basically they sold an arcade machine
mhm,
effectively that you can just put on, you go bloop, bloop, put on a piece of land, and it'll take up the land, the 1 by 1 land plot, the basic land plot on Decentraland, and then you'd pay like I don't know, I think it was a 10 mana back in the day. I think it was
that's
10 mana,
yeah,
yeah,
that's
10
right,
mana, and then it would I think 8 of mana would go into a pool, 2 would go to the creator, I think, or something like that,
that's right,
and there would be a giant pool of money, and then there would be a weekly pool or a monthly pool, and then like a daily pool, and then more and more people played it. People played against each other, and the guy with the highest score at the end of the month would get like a big pot and be like, "Oh hell yeah,
yeah,
shout out Red."
that's right, yeah,
Fucking Red. Yeah, he's notorious on those games. Like he just hacks it all over, bro.
yeah, yeah. He was dominating all of Decentraland. Any game that came out, he was like always on top. So yeah, he became a legend in Decentraland for sure. And it's interesting because as soon as yeah, right.
Fucking
Yeah,
Red.
we're gonna
Yeah.
be talking about Robies, yeah. But as soon as as soon as you can help people generate some revenue, like man, the flood comes in, and we saw that with Axie, right? It was Axie is basically supporting an entire country now, which is
Shout out
wild.
the shout out the Philippines, baby.
Yeah, Philippines, man. And they were just recently on the news just today. They're talking about how so many people in Philippines, like the normies, are starting to kind of understand what's going on. So
Yeah.
it's penetrating the mainstream now.
Dude,
Uh,
that's if you told me it was because I was really early on. Thanks, shout out to Anorak. I was
yeah,
really early on to that. I played the open beta on iPhone and everything like that with that and everything. And I never got my Kyber. I grinded a shit ton of Kyber and never got it for some
hmm,
reason. Yeah, like because that's some thing where if you kept doing tournaments and you kept like playing through the main story, it would just give you a lot of Kyber points to get like the Kyber token. But whatever. But
yeah,
it was a really cool system. It was basically like Pokemon, basic Pokemon battling,
yes,
except there was like breeding involved as well. More breeding than Pokemon technically.
yeah,
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 which is
exactly,
really cool.
exactly. Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think that ultimately that's what blockchain brings. And once the normies hear about playing a game and earning, it's all over. I think every single game is going to have some sort of play to earn mechanic, and we're not going to go back to traditional gaming where you're just kind of like spending your time for entertainment purposes, which is cool. But I really think there's going to be high demand for these types of games, even from like the normie perspective.
No, there definitely is. Like one game that I'm really interested in is Luvium, actually.
Illuvium, yeah,
Yeah, yeah. It's made by Kane Warwick's brother. The guy Kane Warwick made Synthetics,
yep,
which is SNX, which I have quite a big bag of.
yeah,
So start pumping, motherfucker. Yeah. But yeah, Kane Warwick's brother is making that game. He's got a lot. It's basically gonna be the first AAA game. By AAA, they mostly mean graphics, really.
hmm,
Or like graphics being on par with like something like the new Xbox or PlayStation game, basically, or some kind of like general of the mill like PC game or something like that in terms of graphics. But it's also looks like a fucking Pokemon game, basically.
right,
And
right,
except it's a lot more immersive world, and there is actually a lot of free to play where you can grind like level 0 characters and get them to a certain level, and then basically whales will just buy them up for, from cash, basically. So there's going to be like people who are just like grinding, leveling up characters for you, and
right.
then you just here you go, bro, and then they go
Oh, that's
interchange and
cool.
stuff. Yeah, so and they're running off this kind of layer 2 solution technology. I think it's like Eyes OXX or something. Like, dude, these names are ridiculous. But like, supposedly that's like they're using a second layer scaling solution for Ethereum for NFTs. that's called that. I mean, I don't know why they call that, but it just is what it is. But they have a really cool incentive model and stuff. I'm actually going to do a video pretty soon about talking about how much money I invested into it, which is like a lot.
Yeah, yeah. That's interesting. I got to look into that layer too. I mean, so far, I mean, Matic's been dominating, but at the
Dude,
time,
I
it
hate
was
Matic. I fucking hate Matic. I'm so mad at them for Decentraland. I don't know. Will might be able to understand why I hate. Dude, they promised so much shit for
yeah,
Decentraland and fucking
yeah,
nothing. We got a shitty casino that just everyone lost their mana on.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, man, and I think it was in 2019. No, sorry, 2020. It was a huge conversation between Decentraland and Matic, how they were going to basically run Decentraland on Matic, and nobody really knew who the layer 2 winner was going to be. I think it was between Matic and XDAI, and then
Yeah.
there were some other newcomers at the time too. With man, I forget there's another company that was at the time like in the running, but it was really
Arbitrum? Optimism?
yeah, I think it was Arbitrum.
Arbitrum's actually doing mainnet in 3 weeks.
Is it really? Okay,
Yeah, dude, that's huge. I think that might kill the narratives a little bit for some of the like.
sure.
It might chill out the AVAX thing a little bit, Solana and stuff for a bit because if that launches, it just I just wonder which projects got the green light to come on because with Optimism it's really easy to know because it's
Yeah,
obviously Aave and Synthetics basically backfunded all of Optimism basically.
right,
So
right.
like Synthetics got that little like seat right there in the front row to launch first and shit. But I hope so, because like there's actually projects now like I think I had it pulled up here
Yeah,
S
and
S SNY and stuff like Simplicity or something like that. It's on Solana. That's a derivative protocol as well as like something called Mirror Protocol on Luna as well. These
I see.
these are the 3 leading protocols. Technically, Synthetics is probably the best derivatives protocol in the world, just in terms of like actually a lot of the people who actually trade on Synthetics are actually a lot of them are from Wall Street actually.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah, I
scary.
think
I wouldn't be playing in those waters.
yeah. And thinking about Matic, I think part of the reason why they ended up dominating is because not only the rebranding that they did sort of was the difference maker and how they're aggregating the technologies, but they have such a good marketing like angle and a good marketing sort of engine that they have that if you're a new project and you're deciding on what second layer to use, it's almost by default to use Matic just because they have such a huge following. And it doesn't matter, if there's another better technology or anything like that. It's just,
Yeah.
man, if you got the eyeballs, you're gonna end up being the winner. And I think the Matic ended up being that for second layer.
No, definitely. I mean, I should have guessed. I mean, I knew something was up with Matic the minute like something like Celsius added it to their platform to earn
Mm,
yield. It was probably like early on, like Celsius was probably one of the best places to earn yield on it. You could earn like 18% APY on your Synthetic. I mean, no, I'm sorry, 22%. I'm sorry. Yeah, so it was 22% on Matic,
right,
which is
right.
crazy
Yeah.
back in the day because like there wasn't back in the day there really wasn't anywhere you couldn't do shit with Matic basically. It was
Mhm.
just what was Matic's Matic Polygon, right? Polygon, yeah,
Yeah, Polygon, yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
Polygon and stuff, yeah. But it's pretty insane and stuff. What would end up happening? A lot of people made a lot of money, but like, I'm happy. I mean, I'm happy. I'm happy for everybody.
Yeah, for
Basically.
sure. Yeah, and so once Decentraland and Matic sort of kind of fizzled out, I mean, they're still collaborating to a certain extent, but Decentraland is sort of unique, kind of like a unique monster because they're really
Right.
focused on decentralizing everything, and which is it's good. It's good because you can kind of bet that Decentraland is going to kind of outlive us, essentially, kind of like Bitcoin is going to outlive us.
Scary.
And that's why we made a big bet, right? Because if you make any content in Decentraland, as long as you continue updating that content, I mean, it's going to continue working, and
Right.
so it seems like a good bet.
No,
But
it is a great bet. I mean, I've got land, whatever I have left. I got like 2 parcels or something, and then I got a mountain of NFTs, a
yeah,
mountain of wearables.
yeah,
I've got enough clothes to clothe a village. That's for sure.
yeah. What do you think of Decentraland opening up their ability to make the community make wearables? Is that
That's kind of something I wanted to do for a long time, but I just wanted some regulation on it, so you couldn't make you couldn't like make so much ridiculous stuff in terms of like supply of stuff. But if
yeah,
you made it costly, the thing is I haven't looked into it. I really don't play Decentraland that much anymore. I
yep,
just kind of check up on it here and there. about it just because like it's games take a long time to play. That's probably the one thing that I did wish I had more time to play games.
Yeah,
But
for sure.
but the problem is like they're huge time sinks as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
typically, if I see like, oh, I would play this, so then I invest in it basically. Like
yeah.
there's another game called Gaia, or actually not Gaia. What's it called? Gaia's the company. What's the name?
Oh, is it Galaxy?
Miranda. Miranda.
Hmm. I don't know if I.
Miranda. Yeah, it's a small game that's coming out. It's like a fusion of like I would say it's a fusion of Minecraft with how could I say it? Like Minecraft with RuneCraft. I mean with RuneScape basically.
RuneScape, yeah.
RuneScape and Minecraft fused together, and there's like certain NFT stores and items that are like can be monopolized basically, and when you're on a map, that's the only thing you can use on it. So people have spent like $100,000 to be like one of only 4 blacksmiths in the
Oh,
game.
really?
There's,
Wow.
there's like semi monopolies essentially.
Dang.
Yeah, yeah, it's really sick. And then like there's like 1,000 elves. Like there's like these
Dang.
playable characters. You can be like it's a game that's gonna be mostly humans,
Right.
but technically like there's 1,000 elves, and if you buy one of the elves cards, you're one of 1,000. That's probably one of the way to invest into that game. Basically, is to buy
Sure.
the elves, which I bought a few. I bought 10 of them.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, I bought
Okay.
10 of the elves. Yeah, so I got 1% of the supply.
So, how much they running?
When I bought them, they were like $50.
$50.
Basically,
Really? Wow.
$50. Yeah. Yeah, so I spent like $500. I don't know how much they are right now. They're probably up a lot, right? Yeah, there we go. Put it on the chat right there. It's called Gaia Games and
Okay.
Mirandis. The guys from Gaia Games. So that token is actually going to be one of the best investments to do next cycle, not this one. The inflation's horrendous.
Yeah.
Horrendous. Bad tokenomics.
Hmm.
But Gaia Games is huge because it was co-founded and made by the guys who own Zynga Games.
Yep.
Farmville and stuff, right? And I actually didn't know this. The guys who started Zynga Games actually originally were on MySpace and had MySpace games.
Hmm.
I didn't even know MySpace had games. Holy shit!
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they went on MySpace and they went to that, and then they also have developers from BioShock and Fable. So what they're doing is the BioShock and Fable developers. The developers mostly worked on BioShock 1 and Fable 2, which is my favorite Fable actually.
Yeah. And I remember being really excited about Fable. I think I played the first one and I was sort of happy with it, but Fable 2 was way better.
Oh, it was way better, but that's why I kind of like it because that's kind of what it is. It's RuneScape. Yeah, I hadn't talked about it in about a month. So it's RuneScape. It's RuneScape, Minecraft, and with a touch sprinkle of like
Yeah.
Fable
Yeah.
on it, and it's really cool because that whole storytelling element and stuff. Because it looks pretty cool, man. I mean, it could, I think it could evolve into something pretty decent size and stuff because people do like because like there's only so many fucking like Pokemon spin-offs you can do basically, you know.
Yeah.
I think Illuvium, and there's gonna be one more game like that, and then basically you have Axes, Illuvium, and this, right? And then even I think Illuvium's actually going to give Axes a run for their money for a little bit because at the end of 22 they're going to have a mobile version of it as well. They're going to start on PC, which launches like in November, December of this year, and then their mobile version will launch later this year. Just it's going to be the people that are working on it are the same people who worked on League of Legends for the mobile game.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, they're coming hard, dude. It's like I hope Axie's ready. But the thing is, Axie might be enough. There might be sort of thing where like if you make all your money from one thing, you're kind of inclined not to listen. But but it might be sort of a war of attrition by like 23 that they'll be almost on par basically.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I think any game creator out there that comes out with a game on a cell phone, I think that's way more important than like virtual reality, like a VR headset.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because I think there's a lot of focus on VR, but man, I think that's a missed opportunity just because the whole world basically runs on cell phones.
Oh no, definitely, man. And this is something I was saying too early on in Decentraland. I was like, why are we on mobile? Why are we on computer for?
Agreed.
Dude,
Agreed.
it would fucking wreck. Oh, dude, even now I went out. I have a really fucking souped up computer, and like I still hear my computer go.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
pretty
that's
ridiculous.
because they haven't decided to make a client. I mean, if you could just download Decentraland and leverage the hardware that everybody's, on, it wouldn't have to, spin up a jet turbine every single time to jump into DCL.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things. I mean, I don't want to say anything bad because like they created something really nice, but I just feel like they could have run it a little better, honestly, on some of the stuff. Like,
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some criticism about DCL, but ultimately, you got to admire their ambition. I think DCL is sort of like, potentially one of the bigger projects out there, the most ambitious projects out there, because when you think about it, when you make a game, you're leveraging completely the hardware specs of your rig.
Right.
Nothing else does that, right? Only games do that. And so when you think about making a metaverse that's completely decentralized and it's right now is just running on a browser, I mean it's a pretty big deal. But nonetheless, there's a lot of things that they can improve on for sure.
No, definitely. Besides like Decentraland stuff, I mean, what are you looking at right now? Like, because I noticed like your channel was really like, of course, it was Decentraland heavy in the beginning, but now you guys are actually talking a lot about coins as well.
Yeah.
Like, what are you
Yeah.
guys looking at the market right now?
Yeah, so we were Decentraland heavy, and we started MetaZone, and then we started focusing on just talking about what's going on with the crypto markets. Right, every day that we would come out with a video, and we would just kind of analyze what's going on. And a lot of the times, it was focused on Polkadot, right, and
Yep.
Kusama and that
Ooh,
ecosystem.
there we go. There we
Yeah,
go.
and yeah, Polkadot's awesome. I
Yeah.
think ultimately there's going to be some sort of protocol that really joins all these different blockchains together because if we don't have that, it's essentially a bunch of silos,
Yep.
and it would be like if I wanted you to come to my website, I would have to send you a sort of a local IP address so that you can go and visit it versus just being connected on the internet, right? So
Right.
it's right now that's what crypto is, and it shouldn't be that way. So I think Polkadot has the right path, obviously has the right team, and ultimately I do think they're going to be successful. And Kusama's like really leading the charge right now, since it's sort of like the pseudo test net for Polkadot.
Yeah.
And
I think it's more than a test net. I
oh
kind of
yeah,
like.
it's definitely more than
I'm a Kusama maximalist, man.
for sure. Yeah, yeah. No, I mean that's where experimentation happens. I think that's
Right.
where innovation happens, and then it sort of transitions to Polkadot, but it's like a
Yeah.
delayed transition, right? So, but
Have you
yeah,
tried the Fearless wallet yet?
the which one?
The Fearless wallet?
No, I haven't tried it. No.
Dude, to get it's on mobile. It is sick, dude. Like I can buy
No.
all the parachain auctions on my phone, dude. Check it out, Fearless Wallet.
Fearless. Okay.
You actually it'll start you off on Kusama, but if you go into the options, you can switch networks over to Polkadot as well.
Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
So,
Oh
and
yeah.
I stake my stuff on there and everything like that. It essentially takes your Kusama, decentralizes it across 24 validators. And the cool thing is like it gives you the option when you stake to either put it into a replicating pool or just let your interest go into your wallet like
Oh
that,
yeah.
right? And I mean, it's pretty cool. It's like right now I'm getting like 22% APY on my Kusama right now.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Dude, it's a good website, but it also lets you keep on track of all the parachain auctions going on. There's 2 going on right now, but they barely have any Kusama. But they're about to announce the next 5 slots pretty soon. Which is
So
Go
when
ahead.
so when does Polkadot roll out?
From if I hear, it's like November, December, January. January being the latest, kind of
Okay.
sort of thing. Like I'm kind of done going on a limb for like the Polkadot Kusama system because they gave us an exact date. We were supposed to go live with the Kusama parachain auctions February 15th,
Mm, right.
and they did not launch until way after,
Yeah.
way after.
What do you
So
think about
basically,
the
if go ahead.
I was gonna ask you, what do you think about the projects that keeps calling themselves like Polkadot projects?
They're
When
bullshit. Just
yeah,
bullshit. Yeah,
right?
they're total bullshit. Yeah, they're IDO projects and stuff like that. So it's like
Exactly.
Polka Starter, like all these Ethereum.
Yeah.
The thing is these projects actually have to win a parachain slot. Some of them, here's a problem. It's going to be the sort of it's almost like a thing like Amway, where like they get rich enough where like they can basically buy a couple slots where technically, okay, we can't say you're bullshit, but you are.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
so it's that sort of thing. So there's going to be like 1 or 2 top projects from like the Polka Starter that are going to buy a slot because there's 100 slots in each
Mhm.
chain, so they're going to win one at least, and with the because it's really in their best interest. So it's like you see, even what like our two top of our fair weather boys won the parachain auction slot. You see, we're real. Dreams can happen.
Yeah.
And they'll win, and then people FOMO into Polka Starter stuff. But I think it's pretty stupid for the most part. Like the thing is, like even the best token right now is like Karura.
Karura. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I hate the
Hala.
name right there. I hate that name.
Yeah.
It's so hard to pronounce.
Yeah.
But basically, with that, right? If you had like this is something I told my class and stuff, the guys in the chat and stuff was if not to do the parachain auction on that
Mm,
because you got 1 Kusama for 1 Kusama you got 12 Kara tokens.
mhm.
Literally 2 weeks after it was all said and done and the swap opened, you could get 1 Kusama would buy you 84 Kara.
Wow. Right after
Dude,
it opened.
so the strategy with these parachain auctions is just throw one Kusama into each one, get enough of their tokens, so if they have a swap, you can hit that arbitrage and actually buy what you actually want and just kill it,
Yeah.
basically, from there. Because
That's smart.
what'll happen is eventually it'll parity back to well, to parity where everyone can break even, and then but you're up where they're down like let's just say like they just hit break even, you just hit like something like a 4x on your
Yeah.
stuff. Because right now I'm up like 7x on my Caro right now.
Damn, that's smart, dude.
Yeah, you can buy. You can still buy. You can buy it right now on Kusama. I mean, I'm sorry. Damn, all these Ks. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
KuCoin.
KuCoin.
You
Yeah.
can buy it on KuCoin right now because in order to use the Kara swap, you actually have to have Kara for gas. But
Oh, I see.
all you need is one or something.
Right.
Yeah. So if you ever to set it up and stuff, you can just use buy a little on KuCoin, which is still non KYC.
Yeah.
It's still non KYC right now, and then you can just buy. All you have to buy is like literally like $5 of it, and then that'll be enough to pay the gas. And then you can just take your Kusama, buy some car token, pay the car gas fee, and then have car. So then from there you're good basically.
Right. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean,
He's like, I didn't understand any of that.
yeah,
But
yeah, I think Polkadot they need and Kusama they need to do a little bit better job of kind of explaining exactly what's going on because it is a little confusing. But
no, they're doing a horrible job at that.
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah. It's the sleekest shit. Like I will say, like once you use the Fearless wallet, dude, you'll see how, dude. That shit's clean. That's the cleanest app, dude.
Is it normally ready? Do you feel
it's normally ready? I mean, I got it. I was just beep beep boop boop done.
Yeah.
It's really easy. I mean, literally like one like
Yeah.
it's that easy. And you control your own keys, which is cool. I mean, I'm not doing a promotion for them, but like if they want to pay me, hey. But you write down your keys, you make your copies, laminate it, don't tell your mother-in-law where you left your private keys, all that jazz, all the safety precautions
Yeah.
for keys. And then you start earning on it. But the one thing that I don't like on it is like it's like okay, right now Kusama is its own parachain or its own chain, and so is Dot. And then at one point Kusama will go on Dot. Then but then there's like these individual chains on top of each other. So it's like Car. Like Car is a parachain onto Kusama. So you would think a Kusama wallet would work for Car, but it doesn't. You have to have a Car wallet to do Car. So it's like Bitcoin to Litecoin. Like they're different fucking like wallets basically, which is like it bugs the fuck out of me because like I should be able to use my Fearless wallet to use any of those chains, but it's so like that's pretty dumb, I think.
I thought that's the whole point of Kusama and Polkadot, that it's cross-chain messaging, right?
Yeah, that's the whole thing for like because I mean that's kind of like a lot of people don't even know this. Like Dot and Kusama are using Atom for like to actually do some cross chain stuff and everything. Like so, Atom might be the one that ends up kind of silently being the winner of this in the background. But the thing is, it'll never be very flashy. Where like you'll make money on it, but it'll like it's token like something like Atom's tokenomics are pretty horrible. It's like permanent inflation, effectively.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It just inflates forever. There's no cap supply on it.
Okay.
Where like Luna is more of a better investment on that front. Its tokenomics are way better, but the problem that I don't like about it is that it's an algorithmic stablecoin. So it's something sort of like a Ampleforth.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like an Ampleforth, but it has its tokenomics are a lot better, as well as it's essentially being backed by a monopoly in South Korea. So it's a South Korean project.
Oh, okay.
The South Koreans are notorious for having like monopolistic practices. So it's like if the social media company that runs all of South Korea, then a shit ton of users go on that platform because they have to, and they're like, okay, but they're kind of like, all right, cool, I guess I'll use it, and then boom, explodes basically.
Right.
Yeah.
So what do you think Polkadot's end up going? Like, do you think it's going to be like the end all be all, like in terms of integrating all these blockchains together, or do you think there's still some room for another competitor out there?
There's probably there's always going to be new competitors, but if I have to say who's winning right now, if I have to put my money, it's probably going to be Polkadot, and then they're going to create some sort of Polka swap or some sort of thing. But in actuality, if it's either between Polkadot or Cosmos right now.
Cosmos, yeah.
Cosmos, yeah. The thing is, Cosmos isn't sexy. It's just not,
Yeah, but you know what? A lot of things that aren't sexy end up winning anyway, so there's a chance.
Yeah. Sorry, that comment like threw me off for a loop. What?
Yeah. Nice. All
304.
right, Fathead.
All right, cool, bro. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do a stream with Gerardo later, you guys. Gerardo Hex, he's a cool dude. I'm setting it up right now. Oh, that fucking picture, look at that shit.
Oh man, dude. Man, you got into Hex like super early too.
Yeah,
And
I'm Hex Jesus, dude.
dude, you're the dude. Man, that's such a good call too, because man, I remember at the time we were talking about it, and their website looked a little weird at the time.
Oh
But
yeah, it was janky. It was jank. I mean, yeah, but but everything was at the time too. If you think about
true.
it, like
That's true. And dude, it was in the peak of the bear too. So I mean, I think if you bought anything in 2018, 2019, like, and you held like diamond hands, dude, you're golden.
even though I did the math on it, the minimum on any coin, I mean, outside of you chose a bad coin, but like Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, all this jazz, you're
Yeah.
up. The minimum is 11x.
Yeah, the minimum. Yeah.
Minimum's 11x. Like something like Hex, right? Like just to put it into perspective, like here, let me
It's like a 2500x.
yeah, it's ridiculous. Like, watch. So obviously, I'm gonna say this with a grain of salt. Like, not all the money I got this rate, but some of it did, right? So,
Yeah.
so if we're to go on to Hex right here, right?
Let's see
And
this.
oh shit, all time high
Yeah,
right now, 20 cents.
20 cents.
Yeah. So let's just say, so back in the day, right, $100, like during the beginning of Hex. So for about a 15-day period, $100 bought you something close to about like 1.8 million Hex,
Mm-hmm.
basically.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So it's one.
So that's about $400,000.
Yeah. So $100 basically makes you like 400 G's.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, yeah,
That
obviously
really is
not everyone got that rate. Obviously, I'm just but like realistically, most people probably got something like this for $100, like that. So a
Yeah.
lot of people in Hex, the average person in Hex probably got something like $800,000 for $100 in the beginning, which is about $163,000.
Right.
That's
Right.
kind of like, so anyone who's been in Hex a long time is probably in that sort of range and sort of profitability.
But man, think about like what happens to the brain when you put in $100 and you made, say,
You guys hear me?
kind
Am I
of leave
lagging
it.
out? Oh, okay.
Oh, am I
I'm not
good?
sure if I like that or you like that. Hmm.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just stop sharing.
But yeah, just think
Who's frozen? Is it me or Will?
it could be.
Oh, Will. Oh, you're freezing up Will a little bit.
Let me stop cam.
Roy Ray, do not get that fucking piece of shit internet computer.
Yeah,
That shit's trash, bro. Get it in the bear market when everything goes to shit. That's when you buy it.
When it gets to $1 in the bear market, right? About a year and a half from now.
Dude, you want to know some fucked up shit with that right there? Like, people don't know this. Okay, so in dressing, so if you actually like, if you did if you backtrack and do the history why we bottomed where we bottomed, it basically bottomed because Andreessen Horowitz invested $800 million into DeFi, and that backstopped the bleeding basically. So it was an $800 million like QE injection, basically like stopped us from falling.
Right.
Well,
right.
recently, Andreessen Horowitz did a $2.2 billion investment into DeFi just about like a month ago, 2 months ago. And what they did is, where they got the money? They were an ICO investor, VC investor in ICP. They dumped it at the all-time high and used that 2.2 billion off of all the people they fucking dumped on Coinbase.
Wow.
Dude, it's so fucked, bro.
So that's why it took a huge dump as soon as it launched on Coinbase, right?
Yeah, dude, it's horrible. It's been straight, like, dude, I'll pull it up. It's fucking bad, man. Like, how could they do that, dude? That's not even cool, man. That's so
Yeah, I
messed
think
up.
it started at 2.2 billion valuation or something, and then it ended up like at 700 million or something like that.
Yeah, like it's like $55 right now. Let me pull
Yeah,
it up.
55, right?
There you go. Look at that shit, dude. What?
Yeah, it's ugly.
That shit's a slide down, dude. There's not even a pump, bro. It's just like
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't. And if you look at their website, it still doesn't make any sense. I mean, it looks like they're kind of wanting to compete with Polkadot, but why did they launch at such high valuation? I don't understand. And then how did they get onto Coinbase? And you're saying it was through Andreessen Horowitz, probably?
Yeah, it was a VC play. Basically, a ton of VC. It was a way for the VCs to cash
Yeah.
cash out. So it's this whole thing where like, hey, if you want to keep getting deals from us and getting onto certain coins, you have to let us like rug people. I mean, basically, this is just
Yeah.
this was a concerted effort to rug, basically. But there is technology behind it and stuff and everything like that. But the thing is like, shit, you know, do shit, dude. Like at the soonest this will do something maybe is the middle of next year, something like that. And you know, there's only 33%, only 33% of the total supply is even out right now, anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, well, when I saw that, I was like, man, I'm not touching this. It's like 2.2 billion value.
Yeah. No, but definitely, yeah, we'll be talking about all kinds of stuff and reviewed stuff for the courses and stuff. So all the plays we did in the last course, we're gonna have revised versions of them as well as some new ones as well on Solana and AVAX as well. But the AVAX one may be a little far gone. Maybe if there's a pullback, then maybe we'll talk about it. But it all depends on what the market says. Oh shit, you're back. Cool, cool.
So I
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So how long do you think?
Think about what?
How long the bull market is going to last?
Oh, next year. Easy.
Next year?
That's so easy. It's Q3 next year. All the way.
That's good.
Yeah, at the very least. I mean, it could be totally dead by like it might take like January of 23, but basically the top's kind of in basically in this Q3. We'll get a little. There's always a dead cat bounce. So like, oh shit, and then like there'll be the final coins kind of like still pumping, and then then done basically.
So so have you taken a look at the cross asset model? They kind of they compare Bitcoin and gold, and they basically project Bitcoin going to, you know, not only, you know, around $200,000, but all the way to $1 million in like 6 years or something like that. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah. Like stock to flow model, right?
Stock to flow model,
yeah. I've seen a stock to flow and stuff. I mean, that's pretty. I mean, this is something that I've been saying for a long time. Like, I mean,
Same.
basically, my okay. Well, if I had to give a most bearish top bit BTC, so the absolute fucking bottom of like, let's just say the shittiest like peak we get is about somewhere like $133,000.
Agreed.
BTC. So something like that. But technically, like I personally believe it's going to be somewhere in like $250,000, so 260, 280,000, maybe 210, 220, somewhere in the 200s. Basically, that's kind of the top right there, because that puts us at about $250,000, puts us at about $5 trillion market cap for Bitcoin. And long term, that would put us somewhere in the 30, maybe 35% dominance of Bitcoin dominance. So that would give us about a $15 trillion market cap for all of crypto. That would give us $2.5 trillion market cap for Ethereum alone, because it'd be something like 30, 15, and then the rest of the market would be like something like 55% of that $15 trillion. And this allows like a huge increase in the prices of all these cryptocurrencies. So we basically have another 10x on average left. Or let me pull it up actually.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. So the total market cap right now is about
2 million.
Yeah.
So what is that?
Trillion, sorry.
No, go for it, man.
No, it's 2 trillion.
7.5x. 7.5x if it just trends the market caps. But if you can choose coins that can kind of ascend, so actually, like, let me pull this up. There's something else I teach called moon math. Yay! Right. So like, let's just say you like, let's just say you're down here, right? Let's good coin. Ontology. Shit. Well, Audius. Yeah, this might be kind of cool. Okay, so something like an Audius, right? So if everything changed, right? So let's just take this. See if I can show a calculator.
Yeah, is that down 29%? Is that what it says?
Yeah, for the week. Yeah, for the week it is.
Okay.
Audius is not a terrible coin. The thing is like I still like. I think it's a lead. It's a market category leader. If it can it gives me vibes of being a Spotify, basically our version of a Spotify.
Sure.
And they really could pop off, but they need to get a lot of label support and signage in order to actually get a lot of that content on there and stuff. And I don't know if a lot of these labels are going to play ball with them, basically, because it's so new. So this might be really a play for next cycle, but I think it's going to do next cycle. If it's still around, it's going to do fantastic.
Yeah, so talk to me about the strategy here. So for Audius, you think it'll do more than 7.5x in this next
Yes,
sort of
because so if all audience has to do, let's just say, I mean, let's just say it just gets to 50 over time, right?
Mhm,
So what happens as this grow as you go up the scale and you also keep up with the and market cap keeps going up. If you like if audience just stays here and market cap stays the same, so what you do is like you take this isn't the perfect thing because you have to take into consideration the price. I mean the price per token, but also
sure.
the supply per coin, right? So what you do is I take the I can't even move this. So you take 2.29 times 7.5.
Hmm.
If all things stay the same and the supply did stay the same, it'd be $17. More than likely, there's supply coming out, so I'll divide it by two. So
Hmm.
if it would be $8.50, that would be the price of Audius, basically in that scenario where you have a $250,000 Bitcoin. But as we know, these projects have a lot of heat on them. They also don't have bag holders from previous cycles, so you can get upwards mobility on this. So
Hmm.
let's just say, as an example, right? Well, here I'll just pull up my calculator. I don't know if you can. Let me pull this back. So
Yeah, that's interesting because you know, if you buy Bitcoin right now, you might get like a 4x, but man, something like Audius, you could get in like an easy 20x when
oh no, you're yeah. So yeah, Erie, yeah. So we're just kind of like as a broad example. Obviously, this is the stuff that I'm talking about too. Is like you have to, in order to kind of do this math, you actually have to do some basics. You have to look into it to see how the supply is coming out. There's coins like an Aave or like a Litecoin where the supply's out already,
yeah,
basically, or
that's
it's coming, or if it's dripping out very likely, like drip, just very small, 5-10%, then it doesn't matter at that point. That's kind
yeah,
of cool.
yeah.
Yes, you guys, we want life changing money. Wife changing
Life
money.com.
changing money.
All right, so let me pull out the calculator.
Yeah, sure.
Um,
No, it's
okay.
interesting because I completely agree with your assessment with like the speed math going to $250,000 Bitcoin, and but man, there's a much bigger opportunity with some of these lower market cap coins,
Oh
and
no, definitely, yeah. So watch, just to give you that example again, right?
yeah,
229.
let's
That's the
do this.
current price. That's the current price of Audius.
Yep.
And let's just say on average, everything gets a 7.5x. That would be $17. There's a huge amount of supply coming out, so that'll kind of like dampen the pump a little bit. But it's sort of it's sort of weird where it really depends on what the people who get those coins do. If you could double the supply of a coin, but if no one sells it, it doesn't matter. The price will still go up.
Hmm.
But of course, but we know human nature, right? You get a bunch of coins, some people are going to take profits. So let's just say I'm being generous and I'll just divide it by two at most. So 850, right? So that was if it stayed at number 95, right?
Yep, that's true.
But so let me go back to the screen. So I'm going to go to, let's see, number 50. Number 50 right now is, that is Waves. Waves is currently at a $2.3 billion market cap. And right now, Audius is 91. So what we do is something like this. So go back up to here so I can get the market caps. Where's the market cap on this thing? 2.3. Okay. So you see 2.3?
Okay.
Yeah, 2.3. So that's $2.3 billion divided by 0.91.
Hmm.
That's 910 million. So
That's right.
that would give you a 2.5x. So all I do is do that times 2.29 current price, and then multiply that by the 7.5x for the market cap going up.
Yep.
Gives you $43, and then just divide it by two, basically, because of the
Yep.
supply coming in. Oh, I'm sorry. Whoops.
Yeah, divide that by two.
Divide by two. That'd be nice, though, right?
Yep.
So that would give an audience a price. If it's somewhere in the middle of the pack at number 50, it'd have 20. It'd be $21,
Right. Yeah.
which is something like a 10x basically. So it would do good over time. But it's a sort of thing where, like, if you're the type of person that on Audius you're also earning those kind of coins on top of that as well. You actually could actually have more money than that. Your money would actually be equal to if the price of the token was like $81 or something, or 40 something dollars basically.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that strategy just because you're taking advantage of because you know where Bitcoin's going, and where Bitcoin goes up, everything else goes up. And if everything else goes up, what's the multiple and what's the project that's really going to take off? And something like Audius makes sense because you're saying it's going to be like Spotify, like crypto's version of Spotify. So
Yeah.
Something like that is, sort of like a no-brainer, especially if it's already in, like, the top 100. But like,
Correct. Yeah.
Gary was saying is you gotta find projects that are, like, in, the 200 range, and then
Yeah,
you
so,
feel like
something like that. Yeah, typically you can find them by like now it's actually a lot easier than it used to be because you'd have to really fucking digging through shit. Now all you got to be is an ecosystem. It's like, hey, Polkadot, Pack, Cool Cock, Coin, like you fucking launching in fucking 2 weeks, and you're like you're on the jump. You're on the jump basically on it.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know, yeah. I mean, but like stuff like Hex and stuff and everything like those still have huge upside. Like Hex, like this is how crazy it is. Like that motherfucker's gonna hit $1 to $4 before this whole thing's over, even from now.
Yeah, I mean, and it's by design too. I mean, it's designed to kinda lock up and then you yield hex tokens.
You know, it's a great token and stuff like that. Yeah, just basically stake it out. Like the Pulse Chain stuff. Like I went in heavy into Pulse Chain basically as well. It's its own Ethereum
Yeah.
ecosystem. So we've hit sort of a not a crescendo, but we've hit some sort of like point where it really is this whole era of like if you don't have a blockchain system, the games are kind of excluded from this. But if
Mhm.
you don't have your own blockchain system and ecosystem, you'll fall behind and you'll die basically.
Hmm.
So that's kind of what Hex did is they created the Pulse chain, and then we're going to have all these other tokens as well. We're going to have P Hex. We're going to make a copy of everything. Mana's even going to be on there too as
Oh,
well.
really? Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
So
Okay.
if you have liquid mana, all you got to do is have it in your MetaMask. Any of your RC20 tokens, just put them in your MetaMask. You'll get a photocopy of it. All you do is you go onto the website, pulsechain.com. Once it launches, don't do it now, but it's fake sites.
Okay.
But pulsechain.com, when it launches, you just sign the transaction and it'll hand you new private keys to a new wallet on a Pulse Chain wallet.
Mhm.
And then you'll get your carbon copy of all the RC20 tokens. And yeah, so you'll have P mana and all this other stuff,
Oh,
Pulse mana
wow.
and everything. Yeah, it's really cool. It's literally the largest airdrop in history,
So
basically.
so what's the benefit of that change? Is just like low gas fees or
Super low gas fees as well as like Richard Hart is going to be doing upgrades and stuff way faster than Ethereum can, basically because
Oh, I see.
Ethereum's kind of like dragging their fucking feet.
Well, yeah,
Um,
it's completely decentralized, so they gotta, like, have a consortium and, like,
right,
agree and all this stuff.
but it's not even that it's this whole thing where like they're placating to the miners.
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
that's true.
yeah, like they could have rugged the miners a long time ago. I don't know why we haven't done the merge already. We could have done the merge and just be fully just yeah, we can just be fully proof of stake already.
Yeah, yeah,
I
and
mean, why we have
that's
because
still, like, 9 months away too.
yeah, it's not that far away, but you see how they're slowly giving all this time to the miners. But this is time that they could where other chains don't have to do that, and that's why chains are started catching up. But it is this whole thing too, where like by 2023 we will be we should have Ethereum 2.0 out with like one shard at least
Yeah, yeah,
on Ethereum. But what we really do need is just ZK rollups on layer one. But the
yes,
reason they don't do
sure.
ZK, they like even Vitalik said ZK rollups are the fucking upgrade that we need. But you know why they won't do it? Because it destroys the fees on transactions, and that kills the miners. So if you rug them already, like you so with EIP 1559, you destroyed 40 to 60% of their mining reward from inflation because it gets burned away. Now they're 40 to 50% less profitable. Then on top of that, you did add a yield of a 5% to a 10% yield on ETH, but that doesn't offset the loss of income off of the block reward.
I
Then on
see.
top of that, and then you put ZK rollups on layer one, which would fucking solve the gas issues for at least for a while. Well, then you'd completely starve them of basically be retarded to be a miner, basically.
Yeah, but since they're moving to proof of stake, I mean, what's the reason to kinda placate to the miners at that point?
I, I don't know. I think it's more like they don't want problems. I kind of they're playing a game where they're just taking Jenga pieces from them until they just become not very powerful.
I
But they
see.
do it too much. If they could create a forking incident and all in kind of that's what they're trying to avoid basically.
Right, right, right. Yeah,
And
that's interesting.
it's pretty messed up. So they're basically giving the miners a chance to accumulate a ton of Ethereum so they can become the ones essentially getting all the inflation of Ethereum already.
Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
I was looking into 1559 too, and man, I think the last time I remember how much ETH was burned was like, in like 2 days, it burned like 100 million in ETH. I was
Yep.
like,
Yep.
man, that's crazy. It's just 100 million ETH in 2 days just because everybody's doing the same transactions they were 2 days ago.
Yeah, I know it's really beneficial, but the most the like sure the burning and stuff's really important. That's really cool. Here's what's really cool about it is that um okay, so how do I say this? Okay, so one that's cool. Yeah, we start burning, so it makes Ethereum deflationary. fucking awesome. That's really good too for a mentality sake, because like we have this problem in Ethereum where like the minute you have Ethereum in your hand, it just fucking like sand in between your fingers. Like, if you spend that shit, you can't save it. I spent so much Ethereum. I probably spent something like 1,000 Ethereum, and
Yeah.
I think, can you imagine if you still had all that Ethereum? Think about that.
Yeah,
How much money that would be? That's a lot of Ethereum.
$1 million right now.
Yeah, at the least, right? But with that, right? The most important part is that the miners don't get it, because the miners sell Ethereum to pay electricity costs and all that stuff.
Sure.
So basically, the real pumpamental to the IP 1559 was the reduction in the amount of Ethereum that the miners could dump per day. So the miners are having to play this game of like, God damn it, we need to hold this shit to pump the price up so we can actually sell. So they have to, like, every time they get an Ethereum, they have to hope the price goes up 40% to make up for the Ethereum that they don't have.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the whole thing of the miners need till the Ethereum price to rise in order to offset the cost of the lack of the block reward. So the miners are actually dumping way less than 40% now. Like most miners are dumping something closer to 70%. It's a 70% reduction in selling.
Yeah, just to pay the bills too.
Just to pay the bills. So that's why we've since we shot that, since it happened, we went from like $2,200 to like we're 3,000 some change.
Right.
50% increase.
Yeah.
Magic number, huh?
Right. Coincidence, right?
Right. So, but it's that whole thing too, and then they're staking it. So what's going to happen eventually, as they keep getting more and more Ethereum, they're like, oh shit, this stuff starts adding up after, because like outside of the initial cost of the Ethereum, right, which has whatever cost, like over time the cost is smaller relative to how much money income you're getting, because Ethereum's price keeps going up, and I mean this way, it keeps going up to the right. So, you know, I mean, you remember like an $80 Ethereum, right?
Yep.
So imagine if we have one Ethereum right now and we stake it for 5%, right? Like, so all I have to do is this. So what's the current price of Ethereum right now?
Like 3,100.
3,100. So I'll do 3,100 divided by 100, which is $31.
Mm-hmm.
So watch this. So if you when you buy Ethereum, just in a year or two, that Ethereum is doing something divided by 31 is doing something like, I'm sorry, 31 divided by 81. 80 is doing something like 38. You're getting a 38% ROI or return on your investment every year in dividends.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Of course, that's basing it off an $80 Ethereum, basically. Because if you're getting, oh no, I'm so sorry, that's wrong. Oh shit, that was 1%. I'm sorry. So let me times it by 5. Yeah. So okay, for every Ethereum, you're roughly, if Ethereum stayed at the same price it's at right now, and you got a 5% dividend on it, it would be $155 of ETH.
155. Okay, 5%. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a sort of thing. It's a sort of thing where like it's a sort of thing where you're getting you're getting almost 100%, way more than 150% return on your initial capital and stuff. So something like 160, 170% on the original ETH. So if you imagine, so it's a sort of thing where that's what happens, where a certain percentage of your ETH becomes giga profitable. So the dollars the dollars you spent on ETH over 2-3 years will make up for itself, where it's retarded to sell it, because you're generating. You spent, let's just say I spent $1 million to acquire this ETH back in the day, and now I'm staking it. Now that I'm generating about $1.5 million to $1.7 million a year passively off of that Ethereum that I bought 2-3 years ago.
Right.
In the raw dollar sense, not the Ethereum sense, but the raw dollars. Sure. So that's what makes this whole thing so fucking like pumpable and so crazy, because as you stay longer and longer in the space, there's really no reason to sell the Ethereum, because if you're trying to generate dollars, it's a huge cash flow machine, because like in terms of just what you paid to get that ETH comparatively to the dividend and everything else, it's insane. It's insanity. It's this whole notion that I created back in the day that's called the dividend multiplication number, which is this whole fact of like when you have an asset that multiplies so much, as it multiplies, you only need it, like if you're getting a 5% dividend, if the underlying asset 5x's, the dividend will pay you what you paid for the asset in a year. Yeah, that's the dividend multiplication number. So that's what's going on right now, is that you're over time you're getting grandfathered into the space. So as your assets keep growing, right, like $3,000 might be pretty expensive right now for some people, but in 5 years we'll have $100,000 ETH, and we'll be like, this shit doesn't fucking move.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this shit's. When are we gonna get $1 million ETH, you guys? $1 million ETH, you guys.
Yeah.
Dude, it's been at $121,000 for fucking a year. I mean, for a year, dude, this shit's so stupid. Well, that's insanity in gains if you think about it.
So let's go back to 2017. And,
Okay.
And ETH hit $1,400. Its peak, right? And then it took about a year and a half to hit its bottom, which was around $80, right? And so that's roughly like a 90% loss, or roughly like that.
Yeah, 80, 90. Yeah.
80, 90. And same thing with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin went to 20 grand and then it hit $3,000 roughly around the same time.
Right.
And so now we have Bitcoin getting to, let's say, $250,000, Ethereum maybe 10, 12 grand. And so I think equally as important as what the peaks are, it's what we predict the bottoms are going to be for the next cycle.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I think for Bitcoin, I'm predicting around what we just saw recently, a $28,000 Bitcoin would be the rock bottom, like despair, peak bear for Bitcoin in the next cycle. What would you say your bottom is for Bitcoin?
40 grand to 60 grand, like 40 grand for like 40 grand for like you might hit 39,000 for like that might be our low for a second. And then realistically we'll be 60 G's. We'll be 60 G's.
Really? Okay. So it'll go from 250 to 60.
60, yeah. Like we're not going to go as low. Ethereum people I've been seeing people saying crazy shit about Ethereum. Like people like ETH should have only dumped down to about $240 to $300. It should not have dumped down to 80. What happened was there was something very special, and so it was the first time that you had so much Ethereum given out to some people. So you had like a big event where people didn't know what to do with their Ethereum, as well as you had two leading factors. One being the real leading factor is you had a huge you had a coin called EOS.
Yes, I remember
EOS
that.
did a hex-like sort of crowdfund where they just got a bunch of Ethereum, and what they did is they were intentionally dumping the Ethereum at the worst fucking times. They were trying to kill Ethereum. So they market dumped they kept market as soon as they got their Ethereum unlocked, they kept market dumping all their Ethereum and bought a bunch of Bitcoin. That's why Bitcoin did way better and bottomed out faster, because Block One bought a ton of Bitcoin. Like they have like over 140,000 BTC. Block One company. Yeah. See, there's one of the secret largest holders of Bitcoin in the world. That's why no one fucks with them at all.
Yeah.
Punk ass bitches. But like they really were trying to. They're the ones who they saw. There's this whole point where like they had their last chunk of Ethereum, and the price of Ethereum was about like I think 160, and they just market dumped it down to 8. That's why we hit $80 because of fucking Block One.
Yeah.
And I mean, you got to thank them that like we got Ethereum way cheaper than we ever would have got it, which is really cool. But that was really fucking annoying. This time around, it's not going to dump that much because no one has that type of supply anymore.
Yeah, right.
So that's not going to happen. So it's a sort of thing where like everyone's thinking like, because Ethereum effectively went down what? Let me divide it right quick. So it's like, so it basically did something like a 95 or 90 or what was it?
Like 89.
No, it was 90 something plus collapse. It was like 90.
Yeah, that's huge. That's like
94%, 94% crash.
Yeah.
From the all-time high, $1,400 to $80.
Yeah.
So 96. Yeah. So it did a huge fucking drop. Well, this time it's probably gonna do something like an 80%, something comparable to Bitcoin, maybe even a little bit better because there's yielding on it. So more people will probably lock up the supply. So it's gonna be a slight break on it in terms of how low it'll go. But so if let's just say as an example, it does equal to what Bitcoin does right now. So let's just say it it's 250,000 divided by what's the current price of Bitcoin?
Right now it's 47.
Okay, 47. So let me divide that. Divided by 47,000.
Yeah.
It's a 5.3x times the current price of 3,100. So that'll give you a rough price of $16,500 for Ethereum, right? So if I were to say that it was going to go, that'd give you basically where Ethereum's at right now. That'd be the bottom.
Okay. So what's the peak of Ethereum then?
It's look. Honestly, Ethereum's probably peaking at like 25 G's, 21,
really?
20,000, 21, 18,000. Yeah, the underperformance would be 12 grand, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
12 grand. Yeah, we're gonna hit like 5 figures on ETH. No,
Yeah, that's so
for sure.
crazy, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's fucking sick, dude. So it's like really save up the shekels right now. You guys
Yeah,
like
right. Yeah. Yeah.
it's this
Don't
whole. I
buy
mean,
that couch. Don't buy that couch. Don't buy that table. Just hold on to that ETH.
I'm trying my best not to spend it on a Lamborghini Urus right now. I'm
Yeah.
trying so hard, bro. I'm trying so hard. I really want one.
Or
But
just wait 1 year and a half, and you get two of those things for the same price.
shit, I'll buy a fleet.
Yeah, dude. That's
But
awesome.
what time did you say you had to go?
I guess next few minutes. Yeah, I got about a few more minutes.
Oh, okay, cool, cool. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, yeah, and really not to plug anything. I think it's what we're working on is pretty interesting. So you've heard of these PFP projects going on out there, just basically selling 10K NFTs and
Yeah.
really cool art. So we kind of designed our own, version of one where
Oh, cool.
the 10K is procedurally generated battle bots, and they're deployable in Decentraland and also deployable in our own metaverse, right? Called Rovi. And so this metaverse is playable on your cell phone. And what's cool about this is that it's a play to earn game, and it's both deployable in Decentraland and deployable in this metaverse, kind of showcasing the interoperability that so many projects talk about, but I don't think they really understand like the difficulties and the implications of doing that. But yeah, so this sale, so we did a pre-sale, sold out, and so we had a little bit of a fumble in the pre-sale, and it took
Oh
us.
shoot.
Yeah, it was interesting because we were live streaming it too,
Yeah.
and so Iman and I had to kind of think of on our feet, and we did a kind of like a whitelist to kind of recover the fumble, and it worked out pretty well. I mean, the whitelist ended up doing well. We tested our systems with some of the people on the whitelist, and dude, everybody was cool about it. It was sort of like a kind of unique situation for us because the community was kind of so open. They really liked the project and they helped us out a lot. And so we did the pre-sale, ended up selling out, and on September 2nd, we're actually selling the balance. So the pre-sale was 500
Yeah.
Rovies, and the on September 2nd, we're selling the 9,500 left. And so yeah, definitely check it out. It's Rovi.ai is the website.
Yeah. Can
And
you throw us a link?
yeah, sure. Yeah, let me get the site here. Rovi.ai.
Definitely. And since we're shilling stuff, I might as well shill the old what's going on. Hey, don't forget to sign up to the crypto mindset course, you guys. Sign up now. Enrollment starts September 3rd and ends September 7th. So you guys will only have 5 days to get into the course. Afterwards, the course will start September 12th and it will last about 10-ish days. So we should be finishing up somewhere in the 24th to 25th of September. It's 20 webinars, fully recorded, over 80 hours of recorded content. It's welcome to Bud's training, ladies and gentlemen. You want to get into crypto? This is how you get into crypto. This is how you sharpen the knife, steel sharpen steel, iron sharpen iron. You have somebody that doesn't know anything about crypto and you just don't have the time to teach them, put them in the course. We'll give them back to you a lean, mean crypto fighting machine.
Yeah, and if I can add here, you got two guys on the call right now telling you that the next leg up, it's going to be huge. It's going to be the most craziest thing that we've ever seen in crypto so far, and and it's coming. And so yeah, this is a good time to get into crypto for sure.
No, definitely. Yeah. Like the real, if I have to say, like, there's two things that I love so much about the course. It's the community as well. Like these are like your brothers in arms when it comes to crypto, like in the crypto mindset course is when you get in, like everyone's super friendly. Everyone's really dope. Everyone's going to help you guys out. You can ask all the questions you want to your heart contempt. But the other part is basically the most valuable thing in crypto right now is really time because there's only we only have a certain amount of time until this bull market's over. So
Exactly.
if you need to come in the course, get educated and get on it basically because you're like time's wasting, right? Like these low prices are not going to last forever, and then once it's off to the races, we're off to the races at that point.
That's right. That's right.
All right, so yeah, cool, man. Let's see. Charlie was talking about a possible 5x on Kusama at the end of the year. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. I'd be like $1,500 Kusama, which is possible. I mean, I'd probably say maybe like 9 to 800, but it all depends on the parachain auctions. If we have two more parachain auctions, actually that 15's on. It's totally possible.
Okay. Can I share my screen real quick?
Yeah, of course, please go ahead.
Here we go. Okay, so yeah, this is what I was mentioning earlier. So yeah, this is one of our 10K projects. The notable thing that this is pretty much a project that's already done. And if you guys look at the different PFP projects out there, they're basically selling dreams, and that's not really what we do. We kind of like put a lot more effort into sort of our game design, our gameplay, the idea that you can earn in this particular game. And so, yeah, this is what it's called, Rovies, and this is the procedurally generated robots. It's different than what you would see out there with these PFPs, where it's just like a profile picture.
Right.
But these are like playable assets in the different metaverses that we're gonna have. So,
Oh wow.
and what's cool about this is that every NFT, it comes with 3. So it basically, you start out with this transporter, and this transporter is housing this supercharger, and all of these are functional components to the game. And then it ultimately yields your Rovi BattleBot, which is completely unique. You're not gonna have copies of a BattleBot with anyone else. And yeah, so the drop is happening September 2nd, and it's 6 days from now. So hopefully you guys can join our live stream chats every now and then, where we're
Oh,
giving
for
out
sure.
some of these NFTs. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we'd love to have you. We'd love to. We'll talk. We'll talk a little later and stuff. We'll love to have you actually talk about this in the course, if you don't mind.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, dude, bring me on. I'd love to talk about this stuff. And one thing that so it's not so much that this is something that we're shilling. This is really a showcase of a tool from MetaZone, where if you're a 3D modeler, if you're listening to this and you're a 3D modeler, you can do your own procedurally generated 10K project using the MetaZone tools. And the reason why we have to do it is because if I were to explain this tool to you guys, it would be extremely complicated and difficult to imagine. And so we said, well, if we really want to showcase the value of this tool, why don't we do one ourselves? And this is the result. So definitely check out this website, Rovi.ai. Just kind of learn about what we're doing, and then hang out with us on our Discord, where we're going to do live streams kind of explaining everything. And every live stream that we do, we give away one of these Rovies. And
Oh, cool.
pretty soon, this thing will launch, and you'll be able to play to earn in the 2 metaverses that we're going to be supporting.
Oh, perfect. What 2 metaverses are you supporting?
It's Decentraland for sure, and then our own metaverse called Roviverse.
Whoa, you have your own metaverse. Oh, that's
Right, yeah.
cool.
And what's cool about this particular metaverse is that you can play it on the phone. So it's very similar to Axie, that plays on the phone, and you'll be
Yeah,
able to
yeah.
earn tokens there on your phone.
Dude, that's crazy, man. Yeah, definitely. We'll talk more about this and stuff. We'll talk when you have a little more time.
Oh yeah, absolutely, dude. Yeah, bring me back on.
No, for sure, man. Well, hey, you guys. This has been Dollar Cost Crypto. Will, where can people find you, man?
Yeah, follow us on at the Block Runner on Twitter, and at MetaZone.io as well. And of course, check out this Rovi site, Rovi.ai. And all those links will kind of lead to the same Discord. So just come hang out with us. And every now and then we do the live streams, and that's when the giveaways happen.
Perfect, man. Cool. You can follow me at Dollar Cost Crypto. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because if you don't hit the notification bell, literally they'll unsubscribe you.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so annoying. Like, you actually have to hit the little bell icon and hit all. If
Yeah.
you don't do, every time I haven't done that for a channel I've been following, it's like I have to resubscribe to them.
Oh, that's crazy.
Dude, it's really
Freaking
messed up.
YouTube,
People are doing
man.
that. Yeah, dude, YouTube's really being messed up about that,
Yeah.
man. Well, anyway, you guys, peace.
All right.